everyone, welcome back to the NetApp on NetApp YouTube channel. I'm Darcey Pittman with the NetApp on NetApp program, and I'm happy to welcome Ed Wang to the series today. How about you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for NetApp, Ed?
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me. This is kind of cool. So my name's Ed Wang, and my official title, I think, at NetApp is a senior IT manager for CloudOne DevOps services. What that really means in plain English is that my team is responsible for building out all the automations and the capabilities that our software developers use to develop NetApp applications.
Awesome. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about CI/CD. On our channel, we also have a long-form webinar talking about this, which will be linked in the description, so definitely check that out if you want to learn more. But today we're going to talk about a quick overview and then NetApp IT's specific approach to CI/CD. So before we get into that, would you mind just giving us a quick overview of what CI/CD means for those who aren't familiar with the term?
Sure. So CI/CD stands for continuous integration / continuous delivery or continuous deployment. And what that really means in a nutshell is that, a application developer or a group of application developers can quickly make small changes to their code for their application and commit those changes, and that usually triggers some sort of automation. And that code change becomes part of the application, which then in turn gets deployed into production, all in a streamlined, automated fashion. So what you end up getting is, a application that could be quickly changed, updated, new features added without a lot of interruption.
Great, yeah. So what does this look like in execution on a daily basis then?
Yeah, so if you kind of think about, in the life of an application developer or a group of application developers, right? Back in the old days, if you will, what you might see is a group of application developers working on different parts of an application, updating the code for each one of those parts. At some point, they're going to say, hey, okay, now we need to put all that code together and, and republish or redeploy this application with all the updated features that we've just built. Well, that could become a somewhat complicated process, trying to make sure that all that code is going to work well together, et cetera. So with CI/CD, what we are able to do is take those changes, break them into little chunks so that, an application developer that may be just working on, a button, let's say, on a website, he can quickly update that, have that code get committed into the overall code base, and then that application gets updated, and just that one button gets updated from a consumer standpoint. So if you go to Amazon.com, for example, right, they say they want to, hey, I just want this, in the most basic form, I want this button to be blue. So what they can potentially do is just update that piece of code and really rapidly get that deployed into production. And as a consumer, when next time you look at that Amazon.com website, that button might be blue. A little more complicated than that, but that's kind of the gist.
Yeah, that makes sense. So speaking of, kind of another company, what is NetApp IT's specific approach, and how does it differ from those of other, organizations and enterprises?
That's a good question. So first of all, I think everybody's on their own journey, right? There are a lot of companies who've been down the CI/CD journey for a long time. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more mature. They might be doing things that we're not doing today. By the same token, we talk to a lot of customers who are just beginning to embark on the CI/CD journey, and they look at us for guidance, ideas, as far as what they could be potentially doing to get to where we are today. So again, everybody's on their own journey at different stages. Specifically for NetApp IT, what we do is obviously providing that CI/CD automation, but slightly differently than I think a lot of the enterprises that we talk to. For the most part, a lot of the companies, what they're doing is they're providing the automation, but the application teams themselves, or the application owners themselves, still have to go build out the applications. What we actually do is we actually provide some pre-made application stacks are, fairly popular for the application developers. So for example, we have Node.js as an application stack that we provide. So at another company, you might see the developer say, hey, you know what, I want to use the CI/CD pipeline, but I need to go build out this Node.js application stack. For us, it's provided. So the application team can literally go to our front-end portal, say, I want to build an application with this, with this configuration with Node.js, and they can click submit. And less than 30 minutes later, they have a vanilla Node.js application stack ready for them, ready to go. So that's the extra layer of service that we provide that, again, just based on conversation with some of the other companies that we don't see very often. This goes with databases as well. So we also actually provide a lot of the database stacks so that we have a ability to spin up a vanilla database for our database team to go consume without having to go deploy their own, try to install their own databases.
Great, great. And so what would you say the business value of this is? How does NetApp IT use CI/CD to really, offer a lot of business value and help us run the business?
So to me, at the end of the day, it's about how fast I can update and improve my application to provide a better experience for the NetApp customers, right? So the ability to, the CI/CD pipeline, what it really allows us to do is be able to rapidly, quickly provide the updates and make it consumable for our customers, for our NetApp customers. So whether it be, let's say that, our support site, support.netapp.com, there may be a update that needed to be done to provide a better user experience for NetApp customers. Well, we can quickly do that, and within the matter of minutes or hours, we can get that updated and published and be used by our consumers. So that, to me, gives NetApp a competitive advantage, or companies in general a competitive advantage when they're able to rapidly deploy and update their business critical applications.
Great. And then finally, what trends or changes can we expect to see as CI/CD evolves into the future?
That's a good question. So if you were to kind of Google, what are the latest trends, with CI/CD, I think one of the things you'll see that pops up quite a bit is event-driven deployments. So if you kind of think about what we're doing today, we're updating the code, and then we're going through this process I also mentioned it earlier, and voila, you get the updated application on the other end. With event-driven deployments, now you're talking about a particular event in the environment that actually triggers the deployment, right? So it's in response to something rather than here's a code update, go deploy. So I think that's kind of interesting. And obviously, to me, that's going to require advancement in AI and ML as well. I got to think in order for that trigger to happen, you have to be able to determine what response you should be getting out of that event that's triggering the deployment. So that's where I think the machine learning is also going to kind of come into play. That's what you will find, if you were to kind of do some research. But like I was saying earlier, really every enterprise is in their own journey. So everybody's kind of looking for different things. For us, event-driven deployments may be somewhere down the line, but what we care about today for NetApp IT is a couple of things. Security. So how do I make it easier for our application developers to build secure applications? So that's kind of top of mind for us. And in fact, I think it's top of mind for a lot of people, with the whole security posture that people are taking. So, we currently already have a lot of capabilities, integrating a lot of security scanning tools into our pipeline, but there's always more to be done in that space, in my opinion. So that's number one. Number two is advancement observability. So when there is a event or anomaly in my environment, how can I quickly identify what that problem is, and how do I quickly resolve it? Every time there's an outage, obviously, especially with critical applications, there's a financial impact, going back to that whole business advantage, right? So the ability to be able to quickly identify and resolve issues, I think, is key. And in fact, we've actually spent a lot of time and a lot of effort on this already. If you look at my background behind me, this is actually one of the dashboards that we have, and we have tons of these that allows us to quickly identify where the issues are, whether it be at the application level, the infrastructure level, network storage, what have you. We want to be able to quickly figure out how do we get out of a problem that we may currently be in. So that's really important. And again, like I said, we've already made a lot of progress there, but I think there's always more to be done in that space. So I would say those two things are probably top of mind for us within NetApp IT as far as where we want to go next.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing all that information and being on the channel. I know I learned a lot, so I hope our audience did as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're new here. Comment down below if you have any other questions. And otherwise, we'll catch you all in our next video.
Yep, subscribe and look at all those blogs. Thank you.